Hello, my name is Jason Russell, and today I'll be presenting you a case study on the challenges of mandated reporting for ALTC 808 Foundations of Education with Dr. Tiffany Irving. So the presented case study involves a student, a parent, a teacher, a colleague, as well as child services. So when it comes to the context of the student itself within the study, it is presented that there has been significant behavior changes. The student went from spunky and mischievous to sullen and volatile towards staff and other students. The particular incident in question involved abnormal bruising, as well as a significant face laceration to the child. The parent has a new boyfriend, as the student has verified that the bruises are from this boyfriend itself. There is known corporal punishment in the home, as the student has previously complained of soreness from bruises, and there have been cuts on the child from previous incidences. The parental context, the parent itself is very involved in the school. They're a regular parent volunteer, meet and speak with teachers on a regular basis as well. The parent assures that there is no abuse occurring in the home, and the parent, when presented with the situation, also threatened removal of the student from the school. The parent also verified the corporal punishment at home as well as from the boyfriend. We're looking at the context within the school itself. The school has previous experiences with DCS, or child services, and having a negative outcome that involves a student ending up in a worse home than he previously was in. The principal has also a positive experience with DCS and would recommend reporting, though the teacher has not spoken with the principal. She knows that he would. A colleague of the teacher recommended that ensuring the child was in danger before reporting any incidents. We're looking at the background in law and ethics within the context of this case. It is stated that every citizen is a mandated reporter for physical, sexual, and emotional abuse within the state. The state permits reasonable corporal punishment. However, the term reasonable is not defined. Physical abuse, however, is defined as non-accidental trauma or physical injury of a child or failure to protect a child from harm. DCS does note, however, that bruises and marks do not automatically qualify as abuse. There are noted failures in the state to abide by government laws, including contact and interviewing of the child within the mandated time frame, as well as placement. The case study boils down to the simple question of, does the teacher and her legal obligation trump her professional judgment? Now we look at analysis and we start looking at the student. We see that the obvious changes in attitude and behavior signal significant changes above reasonable aspect from the child. So a child that went from happy-go-lucky to combative and aggressive at school would be extremely notable change. That means something is going on with that child's life that is completely abnormal and causing issues. Now, not necessarily in this case does that mean that those issues are happening at home. It could very well be unknown bullying at school or other situations. However, it is reasonably assumed that these changes are due to the new boyfriend and the abuse from that situation. There is excessive bruising outside of standard variance. So in the past, the student has had bruising and complained about bruising. However, the most recent case is a significant step up according to the teacher's recollections. There is a significant eye laceration, which would signify unsafe punishment to the child as well, which is outside the standard deviation. The student has also verified the punishment with the teacher from the boyfriend, which is outside of allowable experience from the past. Corporal punishment is allowed, however, by the state, so there is a fine line to walk. The parent has threatened removal of the student, which is an overly protective diversion from the situation. So that would be outside of a normal response to the situation if there is abuse occurring or not. Now, allowing non-parent to use corporal punishment is also inconsistent with allowable methods as the state describes it as a parent or guardian, neither of which the boyfriend would fall under. The school itself would also always recommend reporting. The staff member is fully aware. The principal, her boss, would recommend that reporting. As a teacher, they are mandated to report. Within the state, they are mandated to report as a citizen. So there's multiple levels of required mandated reporting. The failure to report these situations can result in the loss of their career. However, corporal punishment in general has been acceptable in the community, and it is known that it is an acceptable form of punishment. In conclusion, when we're looking at, in comparison to the state of Kansas, especially, the law itself uses the terms reason to suspect within the Kansas statute, which means that if there is any reason to suspect abuse, then it must be reported. Without reporting this incident, the teacher in question risks a Class B misdemeanor and the loss of their license. To me, those two things alone signify that the teacher should most definitely report this incident. Other factors to come to my conclusion include that obligation does in fact trump professional judgment for several reasons. In this particular instance, there are several studies that are quoted and utilized when we're looking at corporal punishment in the home. They can lead to several issues from the child that include mental health problems, decreases in cognitive ability and function, as well as decrease in non-cognitive abilities. So all these studies that have been put together and quoted within my references show that corporal punishment has no positive outcomes within the home and that the negatives far outweigh any kind of instant solution to a problem. And last but not least, within this, there's three really important reasons. The last and least being that the principal, who she is responsible for, as well as a student, would support the reporting. So your boss, your boss would want you to report it. That in itself should also trump any kind of professional judgment that you may have in the situation, knowing that your boss would want you to do it. The state requires you to do it. All of the studies that have been done show that there are many negatives to the corporal punishment in itself. However, this is far outside normal limitations for corporal punishment and falls under the abuse simply because it has occurred by a non-parent or guardian in this situation. So thank you for watching today. Some of the references used when compiling this information include mandatory reporting of child abuse in Kansas schools, the Child Trends Kansas compilation of school district laws and regulations, what teachers are responsible to their students from lawyers.com. The case study itself is from Harvard University, Punishing Choices, Challenges of Mandated Reporting. Reeves on Hitting Kids, American Parenting and Physical Punishment, which includes all of the sources for the studies that have been completed. And then, of course, the state of Kansas and specifically its statutes from the Kansas legislature on mandated reporting. Thank you for allowing me to present today. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to hearing any comments. Thank you.